Hello everyone, it's my pleasure to be here and talking to you today. As you can read, did they put it in trouble? Oh yeah, learn how to bike, yeah, it's something I'm working on right now. So I want to start with a story that happened to me when I was about 9. I was watching the Discovery Channel together with my mother, and there was this young American explorer of some sort who was walking around the jungles in somewhere in Polynesia for more than a month in heavy rains, looking for some exotic rare crocodile eggs. And when he found them, finally he cried. He literally cried there, and he was so excited and happy, and he couldn't describe it, and he looked at those eggs as if they were most exciting things that he has ever seen. And when I saw all that, I was like, Mom, I want to be him when I grow up. And my mom was a little shocked, to be honest, and maybe a little upset, because as you can relate, for Armenian mothers, seeing her daughter growing up to be an explorer, walking around jungles is not the ideal picture in head. So I had to calm her down, saying that no, that's not what I want. I just want to, whenever I grow up, I want to do something that will bring so much excitement like this guy is having right now. And that thought stayed with me. I mean, I know 9 is a bit young to think about the purpose of life and what you're going to grow up to be or what your job is going to be about, but it's something that I just kept in my mind while I was growing up. And to be honest, yeah, I still don't really have a clue up until now today, but I'll come back to that later. I mean, it's obvious that most of us at one point in our times had to think about what's our life purpose, why are we here, what are we doing, where are we going to. Actually, an interesting fact is that Amazon is selling right now 151,928 books reference to finding your life purpose. There are workshops and tests and lectures and seminars and magazines and books that people purchase to actually try to answer to that question. And that's okay. I mean, that's obviously it's fine because an unexamined life is not really worth living. However, if all you do is examining it, then it's not really living. My story to self-realization comes through moving around, per se, like most of you have talked today already. I was born in Armenia, in the small town of Artashat, which has beautiful views of Ararat mountain from every corner, from every street. When I was 1, we moved to Moscow with my mother and younger sister to join my father, who was already living there for many years. When I was 11, I got the opportunity to move to Cyprus to attend Melkonian Educational Institute, a great organization that was actually founded by AGBU at the time until it was closed. When my parents came and told me, I was just turning 11, they told me, you know, there's this opportunity, I want to give it to you, but it's really your choice, and I know it's going to be scary, and you're free to say no. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it, I want it. Of course, it was terrifying. I mean, going to a completely new country, living there by yourself. However, I mean, first, I kind of felt like I'm going to be in a Harry Potter book, you know, going to a boarding school and living by yourself and having adventures. But on the other hand, I was like, you know, this is an opportunity not every kid has. So if I'm given that, I'm just going to take on and see what happens next. And I don't regret a bit of it, because it was the most amazing 12 years I had in my life. I studied there, I got my bachelor's degree, I worked, I traveled, I met enormous amount of people from all over the place. I made friends, I lived life, I grew up as a person. And I'm very thankful for that. And Cyprus actually became my home. However, what happened was that as I grew as a person, I also kind of moved away from my previous homes, from who I used to be. So was I Armenian? Was I Russian? My parents were there, but there were also relatives in Armenia, but I was in Cyprus. I wasn't a Cypriot though. Well, who was I? And of course, answering to the question where I'm from became harder and harder to answer, like most of you are having that difficulty, I'm assuming. But actually, one key realization that I made during all those years of moving around was that we can follow our passion even if we don't know what that passion is. So at one point in Cyprus, I realized that I got everything I could from here, it's time to move on. So I just told my parents, I'm moving to Netherlands. I'm applying for supply chain management, no clue what supply chain is. Applied to Maastricht, got in, came, graduating soon, now doing an internship in Amsterdam. Again, exploring, meeting people, traveling, growing up as a person. However, still not there of what it is that I want and what it is that I'm going for. But basically, one thing that I know for myself is that we need to decide whether we choose the path of certainty or happiness. Because doing what you love is the essence of it all. And as one author said, and I really like that quote, it says that your vocation is where your passion meets the world's greatest need. And that greatest need doesn't need to be saving the world from hunger or creating a new medicine. It can be providing food and fresh bread at the corner of your street for the people living in that building. Or it can be teaching kids how to read and write, regardless of that. Actually, when my cousins and my younger sisters, they come to me and they ask, like, you've been in so many places, you're doing so many things, what should we do? What should we study? All I can tell them is that, yeah, do what you love. I mean, it's very kind of common thing to say. However, I mean, that's all you can really do. Because as Nelson Mandela has said, our deepest fear isn't that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Who you are and who you are not to be. Who you are not to be bold and beautiful. Because it's in every person's essence to be beautiful, to be bold, and to move on. And even if you don't find that purpose in the end of it, that whole journey that you've made and you're making so far can be the purpose in itself.